Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Vintage Cube draft. Alright, we've got all three Abzan dual lands in this pack, but I think we do have to take the Mox. Kind of hoping we could wheel like an Urza Saga, that'd be great. Green is one of the weirder decks to have a Mox in, so I think Mox Emerald is actually one of the worst Moxes, because like generally green ramp you want like a whole bunch of lands, or like forests for Raphelos, or you know, Oracle of Moldiah, that kind of a thing. But it is a Mox, and it's part of the Power 9, so I'm going to pick it first. Alright, second pack, there's a High Tide. There's a Rakdos Signet. Inquisition of Kozilek is good. I love High Tide so much, I'm going to pick High Tide and see if Storm is open. And if not, then we're going to have Mox Emerald and do something else with it. So out of this pack, we're hoping to wheel like Lion's Eye Diamond or Miscalc, or Volcanic. But yeah, I'm going to take High Tide. We'll see what happens. There's a Mind's Desire. There's an Azorius Signet. Grim Monolith is good. Both of those are good with a Mox in the deck. Grim Monolith will not wheel, and I don't think Azorius Signet will either. Mind's Desire might. I'll take the Mind's Desire. We'll see. I'm kind of forcing Storm. I'm in a storming mood today, but hopefully this is open and we can do this. If not, I mean, we'll switch into something else. Alright. There's a Tolarian Academy. We do have a Mox here. There's a Palinchron. One of the decks that we would kind of be hoping is open is Artifacts. I could take Thassa's Oracle. I'm not a huge fan of Palinchron. I've not had a deck where I can actually like High Tide into Palinchron and have it be good. This is kind of an over-the-top Storm card, and it generally will wheel. I'll take the Academy on the off chance we get like a Mox Diamond or a Chrome Mox or something else. There's a Blightsteel Colossus, so like if we get Tinker, we could always just Tinker for Blightsteel. Otherwise, there's a Birgi or a Seething Song, so there's Storm cards coming around. Treasure Cruise, also to a lesser extent. I dislike Treasure Cruise and Storm, just because I never have enough cards to fill the grave to like make this a great Delve draw spell. And a lot of the times you want cards in your grave for like Yawgmoth's Will, Past in Flames. I think Birgi is more important than Seething Song, so I'm going to take Birgi. Alright, in this pack we've got a Wooded Foothills, which could get like a Tropical Island or a Volcanic, but I doubt Volcanic will wheel. Otherwise I could take Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant can win the game with Thousand Year Storm, if we find a Thousand Year Storm. Otherwise there's a Thieving Skydiver, which is just a generally like okay spell. I'll take the Wooded Foothills and kind of speculate on maybe getting what we need there. Desperate Ritual, I will take a Desperate Ritual. Golgari Signet is tempting. Might just be better, actually, but... I mean, it could fix for black, but generally the rituals are... If you're playing blue-red, the rituals are, like, way better. So, see, there is a Wormcoil Engine, a Dark Slick Shores, and an Incinerate. I'm going to take the Incinerate. It's good to have, like, a couple of burn spells if you're playing Storm, even if you're not winning with Thousand Year Storm. Especially the 3-damage ones. They kill a lot of things, and, like, you do need interaction for when your opponent plays a Thalia. There's a Burst Lightning... Yeah, we'll take Burst Lightning. Okay, LED Past in Flames came around. Without Past in Flames, the blue-red deck doesn't really work, and Lion's Eye Diamond is not as good in the blue-red version unless you have, like, Time Twister Echo Vions and stuff. The problem is, like, we may not even be blue-red, we might be, like, Grixis. I think I'm going to take LED because there's really only one of this effect, unless you talk about... Black Lotus itself, which we're not likely to see. And I think I would rather have the LED, both because I have Tolarian Academy, but like, you know, we get a Yogg-Will and this is better. I'll take an Ulamog, because you can't always just Mind's Desire into an Eldrazi to win the game. Thassa's Oracle or Palinchron. I mean, I guess I can win with Thassa's Oracle and kind of like maybe set up a little bit. I'll take the Palinchron. Sky Whale doesn't get enough love, I don't think. We'll take Seething Song, of course. Random Assassin's Trophy on the side, and a Thundermaw. So, like, right now, if we end up getting cut on a bunch of Storm stuff, we can just play, like, a weird control-y deck again. Okay, there's a Mox Sapphire, so Mox Emerald, Mox Sapphire, and Lion's Eye Diamond will mean this is a pretty good Storm deck, I imagine. We're gonna need some draw 7s. We currently have none. But Mox Sapphire is really insane. Because, like, you can play Mox Sapphire, then you can High Tide, and then you can use all of your islands, which is great. then we have 3 0-drop mana-producing artifacts for Tolarian Academy, which is just nuts. There's a Chrome Mox in this pack too, but like obviously Mox Sapphire is just way better. There's a Probe, a Red Elemental Blast, the other Ulamog, a Fiery Islet, and a Pestermite. So like if Pestermite wheels, there's always the chance that we could go into like a Kiki combo or a Splinter Twin combo deck. But I'm going to take Probe. Probe is just Free Storm. There's Wheel of Fortune, Ponder, Izzet Signet. So like now the fact that I have 2 Moxes makes Signets way, way better. But I'm going to take Wheel of Fortune because we really desperately need a draw 7 for this deck to be like really good. Missing out on Ponder kind of sucks, but yeah, I think we're pretty clearly on the Wheel of Fortune plan here. I do like Chain Lightning. Force Negation, generally this force in Storm is not that good. Like if you have a really heavy blue Storm deck, you can play Force of Will, but I mean we're pretty heavy red at the moment. And Chain Lightning is just a sorcery speed lightning bolt, and it turns out that that's really good. Char is also decent, but... Okay, there's Brain Freeze. I like Brain Freeze. This is a Forest Plains Island, so that could allow Wooded Foothills to fetch blue. Ashiok is just in generally good if we were playing a control deck, but I'll take Brain Freeze just to have another Stormwind condition. Let's see, Grief, Gilded Drake, Faithless Looting, Time Warp. We do not have Past in Flames. I specifically passed Past in Flames, so hopefully I don't get beaten up by that. But I think the pick is either Time Warp or Faithless Looting. Time Warp can let you do some funny stuff. It can just like buy you extra time. Faithless Looting is great to sculpt your hand. But without Past in Flames, Faithless Looting is way worse. I think I'm going to take the Time Warp here, really. There's Upheaval. Can we do Upheaval Storm? That'd be fun. We've got Moxes. We did pass a number of Signets, and we're passing a Gilded Lotus to do this. Bolas' Citadel is really good in a Storm deck. The problem is we don't have Tinker, and that's generally what you need to make Citadel work. So I'll take Upheaval. There's an Opposition, a Heartbeat of Spring. There's a Brazen Borrower and an Expressive Iteration. I imagine Expressive Iteration with this many 0-drop artifacts is actually going to be really good while we're setting up to try and Storm. Having Tezzeret here would be good as well. Brazen Borrower is also a really good spell, and Heartbeat is another mana doubler, but we have no land untaps right now. Expressive Iteration we could play in a control deck too. So I'm going to take Expressive Iteration. This is not an Academy Ruins deck. If we're doing Upheaval stuff, I kind of want Basalt Monolith as just a way to like store mana. So we'll do that. Red Elemental Blast is very strong, otherwise we take a Fiery Islet. Which is not an island duel, but it is untapped, and we will need some amount of fixing. Red Elemental Blast can, like, protect the combo. I'll take the Fiery Islet. I think my last draft showed that, like, if you just have fixing, it's going to be, like, decent enough. I'll take a Cabal Ritual here. If we do find a Yogg-Will, it'll be pretty good. This is a Mountain Plains Swamp. It doesn't really help us. Guess I'll take Char. Because right now we have a lot of burn spells. We have Burst Lightning, Chain Lightning, Incinerate, Char. And like a Thundermaw top end. So this could very well just be like this weird blue deck. I have a ton of burn, so Sulfuric Vortex is not that bad. I will take a Faithless Looting over Lava Claw Reaches, I think, and a Goblin Guide. So mono red's open. I could switch out of this deck into a mono red deck, but we've got some really sweet stuff in this deck. So there's a Lotus Petal, Deceiver Exarch, Through the Breach to Fairy, and Goblin Electromancer. I think because I have Tolarian Academy and I have 2 Moxes and an LED, I'm going to take Lotus Petal. We're really, really on the lookout for like Yogg-Will at the moment. There's Thousand Year Storm, Chandra, Polluted Delta, Mystic Confluence, and Baral. I think I'm going to take Thousand Year Storm as that's a way we can actually win the game. Hopefully we can wheel Chandra. I probably should try and wheel Thousand Year Storm, but like, or just take Chandra or Mystic Confluence and play a control deck, but where's the fun in that? We'll take the Thousand Year Storm. And I know I said I have no land untappers while like ignoring the Palancron in my deck, but Palancron like is only good if you have absurd amounts of mana, which is possible in this deck, but not, I don't know how likely. Okay, let's see. There's Pyretic Ritual. There's Seagate Stormcaller, Expansion Explosion's another way to win the game. Selesnya Signet's double off color, but could be good because we have Tolarian Academy. Still not seeing any land untap spells, no Turnabout, no Time Spiral. I will take the Pyretic Ritual, but hopefully I don't regret that. There's a Frantic Search. We do have LED Brain Freeze, though. And LED Brain Freeze Underworld Breach just wins the game on... Oh, there's Yogwill! Oh, crap. LED Brain Freeze Underworld Breach wins the game on the spot. Underworld Breach does the same thing that Yogwill does. If I could take like 2 cards out of this pack. Breach... I don't know how I feel about relying on Breach, but Breach is really strong. We do have a lot of ways to fill the grave with like Faithless Looting and Brain Freeze and stuff. I'm really hoping if I take Breach, I can wheel Frantic Search, though. So we'll take Breach. Manamorphose is really important in this deck. Regrowth we could play, as well as Imperial Seal we could play. But we have the red rituals, and Manamorphose is just like another spell that draws a card and puts a card in the grave, while being 0 mana. If we get Baral or Electromancer Wheel in this pack, we can actually just like use this as a cantripping ritual, which is insane. There's a Show and Tell. We could Show and Tell Thousand Year Storm or Show and Tell Ulamog. That'd be kind of funny. I think this is an Everflowing Chalice deck solely because of Tolarian Academy. I could play Trinket Mage, but I'm going to take the Chalice. There's Turnabout. Turnabout's huge. I would not mind a Memory Jar at all, but we really need Turnabout if we're going to make High Tide work. Mystical Tutor is a pretty big deal. A Braid also would work quite well. Electromancer is more important than Deceiver Exarch or Rabble Master or Emery. Even though this might be a decent Emery deck, like Replay Lion's Eye Diamond could be good, I guess. We'll take Electroman. We'll take Baral. We really do need the cost reducers if we're going to make this work. I guess I could take Seagate Stormcaller, or I could take Expansion Explosion. Expansion Explosion's probably a little bit better, because we could, like, clone a Turnabout or something like that. Yogwill came around. We did not get Frantic Search. That's really sad. I'll take a random Blow Up the World spell, I guess. So artifacts, creatures, and lands is what that would destroy. Yeah, if we had, like, Chandras and Koths, I think Jokelhops actually would be good. Alright, well, we have no... I guess I'll take a Goldspan Dragon. Am I splashing for... Oh, actually, if I splash for Duretti, Duretti Tolarian Academy is a combo. Okay, what are we doing? What are we not doing here? I do need some amount of burn, and for that I like Chain Lightning, Burst Lightning the most. I think I do have to splash for Yogwill because I have LED. Am I going to play Cabal Ritual then? We have all the red one-shot mana, and we're not using black for anything, but if we can hit Threshold, this generates a ton of mana. And we only have one Turnabout as a possible, like, ritual. I may or may not be playing Basalt Monolith, we'll see. I think I'm going to drop Incinerate and Char. I'm not going to play Sulfuric Vortex. Time Warp is more silly than it is good, but still is fun. I think I'm not going to play Ulamog or Palancron. I think we're going to go all in on Thousand Year Storm and Brain Freeze, or Underworld Breach LED Brain Freeze. So Mox Emerald, Mox Sapphire, we can just replace lands with. Petal, LED, and Chalice need to be spells, though. And if that's the case, we shouldn't have too much difficulty, even though we have, like, no fetch lands and lands to replay. With colors, at least. We could do some pretty nasty upheaval shenanigans, but maybe we can make that a sideboard plan. If our opponent's playing, like, a slower deck, or anything we think we could absolutely, like, I don't know, just upheaval and ruin them with. I love Baral, Electroman, Birgi in this deck. They're very important in the red version of the deck, because the red version casts a lot more actual rituals. We do not have a lot of card draw. We basically have Wheel of Fortune, Expressive Iteration, which may not be enough. Let's see. I guess I have Faithless Looting, which can really help sculpt our hand. I wish we had gotten Frantic Search on the wheel instead of Yogwill. Maybe I was supposed to take Frantic Search and let my opponent pick between Breach and Yogwill. They probably would have taken Yogwill, and I could have wheeled Breach that way. I do think Storm was getting cut, because we didn't see, like, Time Spiral, and usually if no one's playing Storm, you will see Time Spiral. I need to cut, like, 2 cards. I guess it's Cabal Ritual. I mean, if you can hit Threshold, Cabal Ritual is really good. I mean, even without it, we have 2 cost reducers that make it Dark Ritual. We just have, like, no use for black mana other than Yogg-Will. And, like, we have so many cost reducers, we're going to be pretty stuck on color requirements, I think. Maybe I cut, like, Burst Lightning, and we just do Thousand Year Storm Chain Lightning. I generally prefer having 2 burn spells in a Thousand Year Storm deck that's trying to win with Thousand Year Storm Burn, because that lets you use 1 for interaction and then use the other one later to storm off. But I mean, we do have Yogg-Will, we do have Breach, so I think we can get away with this. So Mox Sapphire, Mox Emerald are lands. Tolarian Academy is an island for us. And then we're going to be mono basics, I think. I could put in a Wooded Foothills for deck thinning. Without Cabal Ritual, we don't really have a need for Threshold. It could let me play a land off Yogg-Will, maybe, but I don't think that's necessary. I think I put in another island here for High Tide reasons. Okay, yeah, I think we have a deck. I'll see you guys in round 1. Alrighty. We do have a Tolarian Academy, we have a Ritual and a Yogg-Will, and both cost reducers. I think we can actually do better, because, like, while we can play a turn 1 Brawl, we can't do anything after that. Okay, this looks better. I will keep this. Do I put back Looting, or do I put back Desperate Ritual? I think I put back Desperate Ritual. We can Manamorphose into blue. Putrid Imp. Okay. So opponent is probably on the Reanimator plan. We're going to play a Mountain, pass the turn. Okay, opponent untaps. They play a Volcanic. Go to combat, they attack us for 1. We take 1, go to 19. Untap, we draw another Mountain. Well, play a Mountain, pass the turn. Gonna kind of go slow here until we're under a little more pressure, I think. Okay, Entomb is not a card you want to see. Reanimator play. They Entomb Archon of Cruelty. Alright. They untap. They play Darkslick Shores. They have Shallow Grave. Okay, so they're only going to get 1 discard and a big hit off of us. So we're going to discard Faithless Looting. Opponent left up blue mana. Well, they actually get 2 discards off us. I'm going to discard this Mountain. We take a bunch of damage. Go to 6. And then opponent has to exile Archon. Okay, we untap. Draw Thousand Year Storm. So let's, I guess, play a Mox Emerald. Manamorphose into red-blue. We found Underworld Breach. If we can mill into LED, we can win this game. So play Lotus Petal, play Underworld Breach, then Brain Freeze ourselves. Okay, same targets. Alright, well, we can get back Lotus Petal, exiling Mountain, Mountain, Island. And we can get back Mox Sapphire by exiling Island, Island, Island. And go blue, blue. Actually, can I just kill them? I think I can. Get rid of Faithless Looting, Manamorphose, Goblin Electromancer. 3 times 9's 27. And then we can just exile 3 more cards. Okay, Brain Freeze you. Exiling High Tide, Yogg-Will, Baral. Hopefully they do not have an Eldrazi, and they don't. Underworld Breach is super messed up. And we had Lotus Petal, which is 1/3 of an LED, but, you know, it appears to be enough. That's awesome. I'm glad we were able to do that. I may want Burst Lightning or, you know, another burn spell to help disrupt my opponent, but Underworld Breach was definitely better than Past in Flames there, that's for sure. Specifically because Underworld Breach lets you play anything out of the grave for some reason. Okay, we have a bunch of mana, but we have nothing to do with it, so I think we have to mulligan. We have Underworld Breach, LED, Gitaxian Probe. I am going to keep this, and I'm going to put back a Mountain. We just need to find a Brain Freeze, and we are good to go. Okay, opponent starts Putrid Imp. We untap, we find a Mountain. Let's start by probing our opponent, see what they reveal. Entomb, Faithless Looting, Brain Freeze. Okay. Play a Mountain. Let's go ahead and Faithless Looting. We can ditch Seething Song and a Mountain. So we have to be aware that they do have a Brain Freeze and are capable of Brain Freezing us. Not until their Xander's Lounge untaps, though. So opponent starts Mountain, Faithless Looting. Okay, they loot away an Ashen Rider. And another Mountain, so they have one unknown card in hand at the moment. They attack us for 1. We untap. We draw Tolarian Academy. So, play a Mox. And let's Expressive Iteration. Okay, opponent entombs. Grizzlebrand. Let's see, we can put 1 into our hand, which is going to be Manamorphose. 1 of them on the bottom, which I think is going to be High Tide, and we can exile Island. Play Island. Okay, pass the turn. Next turn we can play LED Tolarian Academy. Okay, opponent Shallow Graves Grizzlebrand. Going to attack us for 8. We take 8. They draw 7 cards. And they play an Underground Sea into a Vampiric Tutor. This opponent has manipulated their top deck. And they draw 7 cards. So they may have picked up something like Force of Will. Black Lotus. So opponent has Black Lotus Brain Freeze. If they Brain Freeze me, they just die. Okay. Because we would, like, Underworld Breach and then just win the game. Yeah, they basically will have to have a counter spell for Underworld Breach, which I don't doubt they could have. Opponent dropped a Sneak Attack and a Wheel of Fortune. Okay, we draw a Mountain. So, play Tolarian Academy. Play LED. Let's Manamorphose into red. We get a Chain Lightning. If I Underworld Breach, can I get deep enough into my deck with a Faithless Looting? Maybe. Storm count is 2, then 3. As long as I don't Faithless Looting so much that I would die to Brain Freeze, I think I'm fine. Actually, we're gonna play like this. Okay, that resolves. Then let's cast with Escape, Faithless Looting, getting rid of Mountain Probe and Manamorphose. We draw 2. There's Brain Freeze, so that should be the game. We can discard 2. Then we can go blue mana. Brain Freeze opponent. Okay, same targets all the way down. They have Reanimate. They have Strip Mine, Frantic Search. Alright, we got them. Opponent can Brain Freeze us, but I think they die. Okay, we sack Underworld Breach. And opponent scoops. We got there. Fantastic. Underworld Breach is messed up. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, welcome to round 2. This hand is only missing Underworld Breach. And we cannot Mystical Tutor for it, unfortunately. I think I'm actually going to mulligan. Hand's good, it's just could be a lot better. We got Thousand Year Storm and Yogwill and High Tide. Yeah, sure. You know what? We'll put back Chain Lightning, I guess. Let's see what happens. See what we're up against. White deck. Probably should have kept Chain Lightning. Opponent did mulligan to 6. We draw a Mystical Tutor. So, play an island, pass the turn. I think I will be Mystical Tutoring for probably Seething Song to play a Thousand Year Storm early. But I don't know that for sure yet. We draw a Manamorphose. That's actually huge. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent sacks Silent Clearing to draw. They then get a land tax trigger, which we can't really do anything about. Okay, they get 3 planes. They play a Plains and play a Thraben Inspector. They investigate. And they play Mom. Okay. Mystical Tutor. We're gonna go get Seething Song. Untap. We draw a Seething Song. Now we just need like a Mox or a land. Opponent gets another land tax trigger. Getting Plains, Plains, Mountain. I think ideally we draw an island here. Okay, opponent is on the very aggressive deck. They attack us for 1. We go to 19. Okay, we untap. Draw Pyretic Ritual. That should work, I think. So we can High Tide. Then we can Seething Song. Oh, actually, we Pyretic Ritual, because we need blue mana left over here. Seething Song. Thousand Year Storm. Okay. So now we need, like, I guess Desperate Ritual off the top, or another cheap instant or sorcery. I, for some reason, thought I had 1 more mana than that. Or 2 more mana so I could Manamorphose. That would have been insane if we could just, like, gain a billion mana and draw a bunch of cards. Okay, we get an island. Play an island. Pass the turn. I need 1 cheap spell. Okay, opponent plays a Selfless Spirit. Okay, they attack us for 6. Make another warrior. We go to 8. So we have to win this turn. Alright, Desperate Ritual I think will do it. So, cast Desperate Ritual. 0 copies. Then we Manamorphose. Getting 1 copy, adding blue-black and then red-red. Baral. Baral does make my life easier. So we Yogwill. Get a whole bunch of copies of Yogwill. Okay. Then we can High Tide. Getting a whole bunch of copies of High Tide. So our islands are going to tap for 5 mana each. That's pretty good, I think. We're going to play Baral, using one of our 5 mana off of that island. Then we Pyretic Ritual, getting a billion mana approximately. And we get to stack our deck with Mystical Tutor. Cast Desperate Ritual. Then we Seething Song. Okay, then we Mystical Tutor. And we get, I don't know. I guess we just get like Brain Freeze. Oh, we can't, because it's only going to be the last one that matters, of course. So let's just go get Chain Lightning, because each time I do this, I have to shuffle my deck. It's not like I get to stack the top 10 cards, although that would be sweet, it would be broken. Okay, and then we Manamorphose, drawing a ton of cards, adding a bunch of blue mana. Thousand Year Storm is a very silly Magic card. But we don't need to show our opponent anything else. We can just Chain Lightning their face with 9 copies of Chain Lightning. Alright. Opponent should be dead. I apologize for the dog barking. I don't know why she's barking. tried to go calm her down in between games, but I don't think that really worked. I mean, they are playing an aggressive deck, so I think what I'm going to do is bring in a Burst Lightning, and I'm going to cut probably Expansion Explosion for it. We'll try it like this. Then we're going to kill off a 1,000-Year Storm. Very different than our Underworld Breach kill. This hand doesn't really do anything, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand has potential. I will keep this one. I'm going to put back... I think I'm going to put back Mind's Desire, though. Faithless Looting can help get us deep into the deck. Opponent starts with a land tax. Okay, well, we start with a mountain. Now we have Burst Lightning mana. Okay, opponent plays a Plains into a Lion Sash. Let's go ahead and deal with that. We untap and draw Mystical Tutor, so we can go get the best spell in our deck. Okay, play an island, pass the turn. I might just Mystical Tutor for Wheel of Fortune. Okay, opponent, Recruiter of the Guard. I think I'm actually going to do that, because if they draw a particularly good spell, like if they go get Thalia, I'm going to get Wheel of Fortune, so they can't play Thalia. Extraction Specialist, huh? That is annoying. But I think we do go get Wheel of Fortune. Untap. We draw Wheel of Fortune. Play an island. Play a Mox. Manamorphose into, I guess, red-blue. Oh, I don't want to Wheel of Fortune that away. But I can't cast it, so... Wheel of Fortune. Opponent shuffles an Emrakul back in, so we cannot Brain Freeze them, because they have Emrakul. But that means that... Even though they drew No, because we made them pitch Extraction Specialist, so we have no idea what's in their deck. We do have LED Yogwill. Can I just go off here? No, I don't have quite enough. We can wait until next turn. Although this might be the rare Yogwill cast 1,000-Year Storm. That would be very silly. Okay, opponent plays a mountain. They play Seasoned Pyro. We're going to ditch some cards, draw some more. They ditch 2 lands. Chrome Mox. Oh, without Manamorphose, I can't actually LED for Yogwill. So I might actually have to go get Underworld Breach somehow. Opponent plays a Selfless Spirit and attacks us for 1. First attack on turn 4. Okay. We untap. We draw Birgi. Birgi is pretty good. So let's play Birgi, play a mountain, and Expressive Iteration. Probably should have Expressive Iteration first, but put 1 into our hand, Desperate Ritual, Island on the bottom of our deck, and we can exile a mountain. Okay. So Desperate Ritual is going to make extra mana here, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and cast like a Mind's Desire. Lion's Eye Diamond, as long as Birgi is on the board, actually makes an additional mana as well. Okay, opponent plays an Usher of the Fallen, a Young Pyro, a Black Lotus, and a land. You got it. They attack us for 2, we do not block, because we can't, it's got flying. We untap. We draw High Tide. Okay, High Tide. Get red mana. We're just going to fire off a Mind's Desire here. Then Desperate Ritual. Okay. Get an extra mana. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Play Chain Lightning, because it's free. They can actually reflect it to kill Birgi then? Does that matter? I can flashback Faithless Looting. Should be -3/+1. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana on board. I think I do need to Chain Lightning. So we'll Chain Lightning, Usher of the Fallen. Actually, do I Faithless Looting first? I don't think so. Chain Lightning, Usher of the Fallen. They don't cast the copy, which may or may not be important. They can crack Black Lotus or tap Chrome Mox, Inspiring Vantage to Chain Lightning and kill Birgi, which is fine. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. We can actually reflect it again, though I don't know that we should. So we're not going to do that. Okay. We cannot Yogwill, but we can Mind's Desire. So let's Mind's Desire. Okay. Get 5 spells out of our deck, potentially. Mountain, Mountain, Everflowing Chalice, Mountain, Coughlin Electromancer. We have no way to filter for black such that we can cast Yogwill. But we can play Electromancer, and we can play Everflowing Chalice. We're not kicking it, though. Play an Island, because we still have High Tide active. We can flashback Faithless Looting. See if that changes anything. Probe Brawl. I can't Yogwill, though. Because you can only activate this as an instant, which means you can't use it while you're paying costs. I guess I try and probe. Alright, that doesn't work. Okay, we passed the turn. Opponent only has 7 damage. We need to find Underworld Breach. If we find Underworld Breach, we can win. Okay, opponent plays Nahiri. They're probably just... Oh, tapped artifact. They can't exile Lion's Eye Diamond. They uptick Nahiri. So their plan is to go get Emrakul, because they do have it in their deck. We untap. We draw an island. We can't do anything. Play an island. Pass the turn. I think we have a 1 in 10 chance of drawing the card we need. Opponent does get a land tax trigger. Maybe I should have held back that island for that reason. Because now they can loot away a land, potentially getting like removal for Electromancer. I'm not sure that that matters too much, but... Okay, they loot away a mountain. Okay, they swords Electromancer. They attack us for 7, we go to 6. Okay, Underworld Breach or bust. That's not Underworld Breach. Okay. Yeah, we had terrible hits off that Mind's Desire. No adjustments, run it back. Alright, we've got Mox Sapphire, we have an Island and a High Tide, and a Chain Lightning, and a Brain Freeze, so we'll keep. We do need to draw some stuff, hopefully some rituals, we have a ton of them. We're not going to play out the Mox because we don't want to waste Storm Count. So I'm going to lead on a Mountain first. Opponent plays a Plains into a Land Tax. Okay. And a Chrome Mox. Exiling Char. We draw Electromancer. So now I have to either play an island and give them a land tax trigger, or I can Mox Sapphire out Goblin Electromancer, and I'm going to do that. I don't want to give them a land tax trigger right now if I can avoid it. Okay, opponent has Red Elemental Blast. They play Usher of the Fallen. We untap and draw a Lotus Petal. Losing Electromancer is pretty bad there. Since I don't have another land, I'm just going to wait. Like, I could just get ushered out of the game if this goes on long enough. So I may have to give them lands here, but... Okay, we draw Mystical Tutor. That is as good of a reason to do what we're doing. So I can Mystical Tutor for Seething Song, and then I can, like, Lotus Petal, High Tide, Seething Song, Chain Lightning, Mind's Desire, or something like that. Okay. I could also get a Wheel of Fortune, but I don't know that I want to do that. Although opponent does have 6 cards in hand now. Let's see. I'll have 4 mana next turn, and I'm drawing something. I can draw Seething Song. So Seething Song turns 3 mana into 5 mana. I can actually High Tide and have it be mana positive, or mana neutral. So I can High Tide, Lotus Petal, Seething Song, Mind's Desire, I think. No, I think I'll only have single blue if I do that. So I think I have to go get Wheel of Fortune. Is that true? Because if I Lotus Petal, High Tide, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. I have to use 3 of it to Seething Song. I'll only have 1 blue left over. If I don't High Tide, then I would have to do 1, 2, 3, have 1 blue mana. Yeah, okay. So I need to get Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, because like Turnabout doesn't do it, right? High Tide and Turnabout, nope. Wheel of Fortune it is. Untap. Draw Wheel. Since we're ditching it anyway, we can High Tide here. Lotus Petal. I can Chain Lightning, too. That's probably worth it. The only way this is worse is if I draw, like, Tolarian Academy. Wheel of Fortune. Give me a new hand. Oh, it's slightly worse. I can have 2 mana off of an island. Yeah, we'll just play an island here. Pass the turn. This is a pretty bad Wheel of Fortune. The opponent can land tax. They get Plains, Mountain, Mountain. They have 10 cards in hand. They play an Inspiring Vantage, which is none of the cards they just tutored for. They attack us for 2. Go to 13. And they discard Mountain, Plains, Plains. So they're holding a mountain still. We draw Underworld Breach, and we have Brain Freeze. Okay, I mean, if they don't have Emrakul in their deck, we can kill them that way, but otherwise we can Brain Freeze ourselves, Ritual a bunch of times, play a 1000-Year Storm, and bolt them to death. That sounds fun. Okay. Play a mountain. Desperate Ritual. Underworld Breach. Brain Freeze ourself. Exiling Mystical Tutor, Electromancer, and Wheel of Fortune, I think? Yeah. Okay. Same targets, same targets. We need to hit LED. Hit Yogwill. There's Lion's Eye Diamond too. Perfect. So then we can play LED, exiling island, island, island. Can sack it for blue. Play LED, exiling island, mountain, mountain. Sack it for red. Then we can play 1000-Year Storm, exiling Academy, mountain, Mox. Then we can Brain Freeze ourself again to get all of our cards into the grave. Exiling Birgi, Yogwill, High Tide. Okay, same targets, same targets. We just can't draw any more cards. Oh, I wonder if we kick Burst Lightning, if it copies the kicker. Okay. We are all out of cards. So then we play LED, exiling island, mountain, Everflowing Chalice. Sack it to add red. We Burst Light. No. They can only Chain Lightning us back one time. Chain Lightning them, getting rid of Brain Freeze, Baral, Probe. 3 copies. Same targets, same targets, same targets. This gets around the fact they have an Emrakul and an Ahiri, so they can't be Brain Freezed. Okay, they fork the Chain Lightning back at us. We will not pay 2 to fork, no. Okay, hit them again, and hit them again. And we Chain Lightning them, exiling Looting, Expressive Iteration, and Manamorphose. Getting 4 copies. And we got there. I have never, ever, ever Underworld breached a 1000-Year Storm out of the grave. That is silly. Absolutely silly. Alright, well, we're 2-0, heading into round 3. I'll see you guys there. Alright, round 3. I think this is a mulligan. This has some potential. Problem is we only have blue mana. I'm actually going to go to 5. Okay. I'm going to keep this. We're going to put back Everflowing Chalice and Expansion Explosion. And I think we're going to start with a Faithless Looting. Okay, Mystical Tutor is pretty good. We're going to put back Seething Song. We're going to put Seething Song and Yogwill into the grave. The opponent knows what's up. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp. We untap. We draw a mountain. Play an island. Play a lotus petal. Pass the turn. So we are going to Mystical Tutor for Wheel of Fortune. Okay, opponent plays an Ancient Tomb. Get a Wheel of Fortune. Untap. Draw a Wheel of Fortune. Play a mountain. Wheel. Get 7 new cards. They're pretty decent. Opponent is on an Animate Dead deck. Okay, pass the turn. Preserve as much of our storm count as we can, anyway. Good news is we did not put, like, a gigantic creature into the grave for them to reanimate. They can reanimate a Shriekmaw if they want to. They also have an on-color Mox. Okay, then play a Signet. And they play an Ashiok. See what they exile. Mind's Desire, Birgi, and a Mountain. That is unfortunate. They play an island, and they suspend Ancestral Visions. We draw Mox Sapphire. Okay, well, if we hit something really good off Expressive Iteration, we can probably just win. Play a Mox. Play a Mox. Play an island. Or play Lion's Eye Diamond. Then I'm going to High Tide. Expressive Iteration. We can put one of them into our hand, Manamorphose. Get one on the bottom, which is a mountain. Exile an island. Play the island, because that gives us another land in our hand to discard to Faithless Looting. Then we can play Brawl, using our green mana here. We can actually Ritual. Yogg-Will's in the grave, so we're going to go get red. 1,000-Year Storm, which we are 1 mana away from casting? We can't get any mana anyway, that I know how. That's unfortunate. So Faithless Looting, Chain Lightning Turnabout. I can Turnabout, and that will give me enough mana to play 1,000-Year Storm. So we're going to ditch Island, Electromancer. Then we sack Lotus Petal for blue. Turnabout myself. Say land, untap. Oh, but I can't Chain Lightning. Oh, it's so close, though. Play 1,000-Year Storm. And now I can't Chain Lightning. Pass the turn. The good news is we have all our win conditions. The only thing that, like, we're missing now is a Underworld Breach, which we're hopefully opponent is not exiling. With Ashiok this turn. They play the Reality Chip. They could actually down-tick Ashiok to equip the Reality Chip to something. And by something, I mean Birgi, but I think Ashiok uptick is still where they want to be. They exiled Brain Freeze. Okay. I mean, if we just top-deck Underworld Breach, we're good to go. We untap. There's Underworld Breach. Okay, so we can play Underworld Breach. Red mana. Chain Lightning opponent. 0 copies. Okay. Sack for triple red. Chain Lightning opponent. Exiling Expressive Iteration, Goblin Electromancer Island. 1 copy. And we can Chain Lightning again. Exiling Turnabout, High Tide, Manamorphose. We get 2 copies, same targets, and opponent dies. Okay, we found a way to win. Can't say I'm thrilled about Ashiok being in my opponent's deck. I may actually want, like, Char, but I don't know what I would side out here. Maybe Expansion Explosion? Yeah, alright, we'll bring in... you know, I want Burst Lightning, actually. Run it like this. We have exactly 2 ways to win, and Ashiok has the potential to, like, take us off of both. I would say that, like, this is a very good version of the blue-red Storm deck. If we had had Frantic Search, I think this deck would actually be a lot better instead of Yogg-Will. But Yogg-Will's done work. We basically do need Breach to win if we don't just make a big... If we don't just Ritual into 1,000-Year Storm Chain Lightning. or make a big brain freeze. We basically have to have Underworld Breach to win. This card is like core to how this deck wins. It's super strong. Okay. We do not have red mana, which is kind of a big deal. I think I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this can work. We'll keep this and put back a mountain. Opponent also mulligan to 6. We lead on Bloodstained Mire. We draw a Lotus Petal. I could turn 1 Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if that's good. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Bloodstained Mire for an Underground Sea. They untap. They play an island. Duress. Oh, that's a huge problem! I should have turned 1 Wheel of Fortune. They take Wheel of Fortune. So now my hand is like super anemic. Manamorphose, red-blue, draw a card. Okay, we draw nothing. Pass the turn. Okay, we untap. We draw Brain Freeze. Play an island. Pass the turn. If we draw Underworld Breach, we're pretty close to just winning the game. Opponent plays a Swamp, a Mox Emerald. They also have 2 Moxes. And the Scarab God. Okay. We untap and draw Desperate Ritual. Play an island, pass the turn. Opponent has nothing to reanimate with Scarab God. Opponent attacks for 5. Take 5 and go to 15. If we draw Mind's Desire could get us where we need to go. They just play out Thieving Skydiver and Phantasmal Image Thieving Skydiver. That's great. I'm really glad I didn't play out my Mox. We draw Chain Lightning, so I can get a storm count of 5. That is not enough to mill them out. So we're just going to play a mountain and pass. Opponent has nothing to reanimate currently. Okay, they attack us for 9. We go to 6. They play Glen Elandra Archmage. That's actually a huge problem. So play a Mox. Play Lotus Petal. Desperate Ritual. Chain Lightning. Glen Elandra. That was like the worst top deck for us. Just counter it. Opponent is too smart. So they get back Glen Elandra. Then we Brain Freeze them, which is at least going to give us information about their deck. Opponent may auto-yield through these. They're like a control deck. Yogg will. Yup. Super unfortunate that Glen Elandra Archmage was their top deck there, because otherwise we'd have had him. I could bring in like Basalt Monolith and we could bring in Upheaval against them, but man, that Duress was brutal. Absolutely brutal. If I can turn 1 Wheel of Fortune off Moxes, I'm probably going to do it. We are on the play. Okay. We get to play first. This hand is not good. We have the LED Yogg-Will Underworld Breach Brain Freeze. Is my opponent just dead? Keep. Can I turn 1 my opponent? Put back Faithless Looting. I think I can turn 1 kill my opponent. Island, Lotus Petal, LED, Breach. Oh, actually, hang on. If I play Breach and I activate Lotus Petal LED, that's 1, 2, 3 cards in my grave and Brain Freeze, but I lose LED. Oh, if I draw a land, I can win, right? Because I would... Oh, it's so close. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. We play Underworld Breach. We sack this for blue. We Brain Freeze ourself, exiling LED, Yogg-Will, Lotus Petal. If I'd had 1 more card in my hand, if I didn't have to mulligan and I had this, I would have them. If I can hit a Mox, I think I can kill them. Okay, I can probe. Let's probe them. Paying life. Exiling island, mountain, island. Mox Sapphire. And now we can probe until Brain Freeze is lethal. Oh my god. That's crazy! We just turn 1 to our opponent! Oh my god, I can't believe it. 8 storm count? Brain Freeze you. With all of the cards in my graveyard. Okay, so it isn't quite the turn 1 kill, and if they have an Eldrazi, we're screwed. Maybe I should have targeted myself once, but... Opponent has 6 cards left in their deck. Yeah, I should have targeted myself once, but... Opponent does not have very long to beat us. Go ahead and cast Birgi. 4 cards left in deck. Oh, it's gonna be good. We draw an Electromancer, go to combat, attack for 3, play an Electroman. If this works, I'm counting it as a turn 1 kill. Man, if we didn't mulligan, we would have had it. If we hadn't have mulliganed, we would have beat them. Because we could have LED'd, Brain Freezed, and then LED'd again. And then Brain Freezed until our opponent was dead. So they Blood Chief's Thirst, they Phantasmal Image Birgi. Sure. We untap, draw a Mox Emerald, go to combat, attack for 3. They lost Animate Dead, Recurring Nightmare. They could have Reanimate still, but we still are pressuring their life total. They only have 2 cards left in their deck, so they have to do 14 damage very quickly. And with limited mana, it looks like, because they're tapping for something and they've not played a land yet. Ashiok. Okay, they get a red mana back. Ashiok's not going to be very good. Not against us. Not when our opponent has 2 cards left. We still have 13. Okay, we untap. We draw a Mystical Tutor. I don't even think there's anything I want a Mystical Tutor for. If I Mystical Tutor for Wheel of Fortune, they die. Play an island, pass the turn. That is if they don't exile it with Ashiok. Okay, opponent. They untap. They draw a card. They have 1 card left in their deck. They uptick, they hit Baral, it looks like Pyretic Ritual and Chain Lightning. They play a Mox Jet, they get some mana. Yeah, we're gonna Wheel of Fortune them. Okay, alright, opponent's got 5 mana. We're getting dressed. Mystical Tutor. Look, they already activated Ashiok. Yeah, we'll put Wheel of Fortune on top of our deck. We're gonna get him with the Wheel of Fortune. They take the Mox Emerald. Opponent would have to have something very good. If they can mill us again without drawing cards, then they have 1 extra draw, but I don't think my opponent can do enough damage. Riftwing Cloudskate. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Bouncing a Mountain. They play a Verdant Catacombs, and they pass. They attack. No blocks. We untap. We draw a Wheel of Fortune. You draw 7? Oh my god, Underworld Breach is so messed up. We got the turn 1 storm kill. And I know opponent wasn't officially dead on turn 1, but they were not winning that game. Not with any of the cards they had in their hand. We beat them on turn 1 on the play. They lost. That's insane, and we would have had it had I had that opening hand, but not mulliganed. If I hadn't mulliganed once, and we had LED, Brain Freeze, Mox, or no, LED, Brain Freeze, Underworld Breach, Land, Lotus Petal, they were dead. And if that Lotus Petal had been a Mox, they were still dead if we'd had a Mountain. Oh, that's just insane. Let's open a treasure chest. Oh, I feel awesome about that. Turn 1 Storm. 5 play points, we get an Extended Art All-Seeing Arbiter, or an alternate art. That's awesome. And a Teamer War Shaman. So, if y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, if that doesn't get a like out of you guys, I don't know what will. But please, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And remember, you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream once a week. Generally on Sunday at the moment, but... yeah, I also have a Discord channel and a Patreon. Links should be in the description if you want to support me directly or contact me directly. Those two are the best venues to do it. So I want you to know that you're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for sticking around and watching this video, and I'll see you guys next. Bye!